Hi, in this video I'm going to show you 5 ways to effectively sell Office 365 to maximize your services and margins and not go to the price discussion route with your customer. Welcome to this channel, Journey to Cloud. Here we do business strategies, product reviews, sales guides and tips, all on cloud technology. So if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. Let's get started. As you all know that Office 365 is is in the high demand today, with almost every customer looking for it. Microsoft is putting a lot of efforts in marketing it. So how can you do in a much better way a sale of Office 365 as compared to hundreds of other resellers and partners trying to sell them? So I'm going to give you 5 different ways which will make you a better Office 365 seller. Not only you will close the deals in the right way, but also you will be able to make good amount of margin and services opportunity. So stay tuned for the 5 tips. Here's the first one. Do your homework. Doing your homework is very, very critical. What I mean by doing your homework is before you even get in touch with your customer or prospect with the right people, I want you to do your homework. Now that homework is very simple exercise. It's basically a sales homework to do before you contact your customers. Now the first one I would like you to do is to go and check your domain, check the domain name of the customer. I'm assuming you're going to approach a customer who is already having an email, a domain, and a business going on. So if you're going and approaching a customer who already has a domain name, then just go to who.is and check their DNS settings. And what you specifically are going to look for is an MX record. So when you see the MX record typically tells you where the current customer is hosting their emails. If it is an IP address, most likely it's going to be an on-prem solution which is using like an Exchange or an IBM Lotus Note or something like that. If it is pointing to something with the name Google, then it is most likely that the customer is using on Google. If it is something to do with Rackspace, you will see a word Rackspace. If you see something with Outlook as a word, then for sure that the customer is already on Office 365. You don't need to waste your time, you can move on. So that's a very critical step. Most of the sellers forget it and they waste their time prospecting, calling them, and then they don't get anything. So do your homework, check the domain name, and you will actually be able to find out what the customer is using, and you can pitch accordingly. So if you're Google, you need to be prepared how you're going to play, how to switch the customer to Office. If it is not Office, then it's a clear shot that you should go and pitch Office 365 to the customer. So the next point in the homework is size and industry of the customer. Size of the customer plays an important role on how you're going to pitch the whole solution to the customer. If it is and the easiest way to categorize them is into 3 categories. SMB, which is small and medium business. I would say depending on the country and region you are in, but the definition of size of the customer varies from country to country, but you can define your own country. If it is an emerging country, it can be 0 to 150 employees. If it is a mature country like US, Europe, or Asia, India, then the SMB will range between 0 to maybe 300 employees. So categorize them in either SMB, mid-market, or an enterprise, because each of these will behave differently, and it is very critical that which industry you're going after. What is the industry of the customer? On their website, on their LinkedIn profile, you will easily be able to find what exactly is their industry, whether it is retail, manufacturer, and so on. In the following videos, which I will be doing in the next few weeks, I will pick up an industry and talk about that and how specifically you can go and pitch it to them. So know their industry and the size, it really matters. The number of branches it has, and the easiest way which I used to do in the past is go to their website and find out the contact offices. If they have more than one office, it will be listed on their website, but that these are the number of branches they have and so on. Why it is important for you to know the number of branches is very simple. The more the number of branches, the bigger is the problem of the data and the emails and the connectivity. A cloud solution is the right thing to do that. So find out how many branches, and this could be one of the questions which you want to discover while you're talking to the prospect. Check their website on social and YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Why this is important? This could be a topic of digital transformation. Everybody is transforming. If the company's website is pretty old, but it's a good company, it's a well-known name, but they don't have a decent website. It doesn't render on the mobile. They don't have a YouTube channel. They don't have a LinkedIn. They don't have Facebook. You're not going to make any money out of this knowledge, but you definitely will be able to pick up these insights that they are not yet ready and they're not started their digital transformation. Office 365, which is basically a communication collaboration, could trigger the first step into the digital transformation. That could be one of the topics to discuss when you meet the customers. So my next tip is talk to the right people. Talking to the right people is very, very critical. If we are from IT sales background, typically we knock the doors of an IT department, and that's what is our biggest mistake if you're going and selling a cloud solution. Don't go to IT department. Don't go to the system admins. They are afraid of you. Don't go to IT managers. They don't have budgets for this. They want to maintain their budget. They want to spend their budgets. They love servers and IT department and the server room and everything. Don't go to IT directors also at the first place. I would suggest, if you want to go and make a right sale with the services and margin, you better want to go and knock the doors of a business guys. It could be CEO, it could be CFO, it could be VP, it could be director, it could be sales director, somebody on the business side who is concerned for the following. The reason I want you not to go to the IT and go to business is the following. The business is concerned about the terms called productivity gain, business impact, time to market, and so on. IT department doesn't care about all of these. IT department is caring about whether the lights are on, the servers are on, the systems is running or not. Yeah, that's a good point in Office 365 business, but the decision-making point will really come from the fact that you're going to help the company to improve their productivity by 20%. You're going to help the company to go to market and be more agile in terms of growing and being in communication and collaborate much better. Collaboration means nothing to IT department, and this is one of the important things which you want to do. So it's very critical that you talk to the IT department. I have some tips here. Talk about the business application, not about emails. So in Office 365, you don't want to talk about emails at all because it's known Office 365 has a much bigger capacity. 50 GB means nothing to people today. That is taken for granted. It is definitely there. So you don't need to mention again and again that, oh, you're going to get 50 GB. That's not a selling point. You want to talk about other apps which comes along with Office 365. You want to talk about Planner. You want to talk about Task. You want to talk about the Teams. You want to talk about Calendar. You want to talk about OneDrive, SharePoint. And these are the things which can help business collaborate better. And that's the most important piece of it. Okay. Talk about multi-device syncing. This is important. Everybody forgets about this. To mention to the customer very strongly on the business side is multi-device syncing. You can have 5 devices and they're all syncing together. It means a lot to a business person than an IT department. So talk about these things, very critical. So talk to the right people, show them the right stuff, talk about the right things. Don't talk about the capacities and features of the Office, but that means nothing to people. What they really care about is collaboration. What they really care about is productivity, how much they can save money, how fast they can do things, how better they can do things, how better they can communicate, Skype for Business and so on, and video calls and everything. So that's what you want to discuss all with the business teams, not with the IT department. Another important reason which I'll talk about in the next few points is why talk to business for services. So let's go to the next point. The next way is to educate your customer. Educating the customer is critical. You don't want to throw in a proposal the fastest way. You want to spend some time educating the customer. Of course, I don't want you to be so very slow that somebody else comes and throws the price to the customer. I want you to spend some time, right time with your customer to educate them about various apps which they will get by default when they subscribe to an Office 365 plan. When I say that, it comes with a bunch of like 10, 15 apps, and if the customer doesn't know about this, you're not going to make anything out of it. You will end up selling an email service to them, which is not the right thing to do. So I want you to spend time educating that in different ways and means. Maybe talk about it, maybe put it on a paper, maybe show them a video. The best way which I recommend is to show them a demo. Ask for 45 minutes, an hour, take a walkthrough script, show them very quickly these are the apps which comes through it, and talk about use cases, not case studies. Use cases. There are two different things. Case studies are success stories of people who have done it. Yeah, that means okay. But then if you want to sell things, you talk about case study, which means how teams can be used for sales department and marketing departments, how planner can be used by project teams or sales teams, for example, how OneDrive can be used by finance department and sales and marketing department. These are the things which will matter to them. So you need to pack all of these into about a 1.5 hours time slot and show them live in person with right people in the audience. And those people should be business, not IT departments, because IT typically resist this whole thing. So that was educate. So educate is my third tip. The fourth one is services. You want to talk about services. You are there not to sell a product. You are there to give them a service. And if you don't tell them about the services which you offer, and services, I'll break it up into a couple of things. I'll break it up in implementation services. I'll break it up in the second point is migration services. Third could be development services. And finally, it would be the managed services or support. If you don't talk about these four things at the most critical layer, you cannot convince the customer that you're adding value. You're not there to sell licenses. If you do that, you'll end up making minimum margin or sometimes no margin, and it's a liability. Office 365 selling under CSP and you're not making money is a liability for your business. You will actually make losses than actually profitability. So you want to talk about these four services. The fifth one is a bonus one. It is change management. You want to talk about change management. A lot of partners I've seen, they don't talk about change management. And I'll go one by one very quickly. Implementation is all about the efforts which you put in planning, you put in the mapping of all the things, you discover how much is the data to be migrated, when you're going to migrate all of these step by step, with the right sequence of people categorization. So there's a lot of good amount of planning which goes into this. And the way you want to put across to the customer is, yes, you are getting a product and it's a subscription model. You pay per month, per year, whatever you want to do that, and I'm going to give you a good price there. But then on the services, I'm going to put efforts. I'm going to put 1 or 2 people for a good amount of time, and you want to charge the customer for the efforts they're putting. So the right way, I think, is, and this was very successful with us and myself, was to put it across as a total effort and how many days it is, and quantify the days. Typically 1 man day, it depends on the region, come down to a dollar value per day, and then you will be able to find out a dollar value for the whole project, which is implementation. And it's a good matrix to go and put it in front of a customer, and customer will understand. If you make him understand that there is a good amount of effort required to actually do a good job, and then if it takes time and efforts by 1 or 2 people to do that project, then he will be happy to pay. The other thing is the migration piece. The migration is done in 2 parts. The migration is actually an effort by a human being, which is an expert, a technical person, but also it requires the right tool. So you again need to educate about these services that to effectively do the project in time with a good experience of the users, not losing a previous data on the devices on the Office 365 and always keep going back to old PST files, is to migrate some amount of data, not all the data, some amount of data. They need to help the customer to migrate the calendar, the contacts, and the files and folders also. And for that, doing it like a donkey person doing manual do this and that, it's disaster. You need to use the right tool. You need to educate your customer that there are right tools available like Skykick and BitTitan, and they can actually help you to move that data on the cloud. And there are two parts of the migration fees, which is the tools and the efforts. Both of them need to. Migration efforts can be again man days, and then tools is by user and type of the data which you migrate. Let's talk about the development piece. Development is optional, but then here is some value add and stickiness you want to create. You definitely want to talk about SharePoint portal development. It's very easy. It's not a rocket science. Even if you have a regular basic HTML designer, if you don't have anybody also, you can use tools like ShortPoint, and it's basically a UI designer. Put it on top of SharePoint, drag and drop and get things done. But by just showing it and putting that effort to even plan for your customer is going to help you get that stickiness, because you're selling something more than that. And by selling that service, you're actually making the customer use the full value of the investment he's doing on the office. The last piece is the support piece. Now, support generally is not a rocket science to support a customer, but I'll tell you there are two types of problems which every customer faces. One is actual product problem. It could be mailbox not working, calendar not syncing, this and that. It's a policy, it's a product problem, something which definitely requires a technical assistance from Microsoft, and then you get it done. The other type of the support, which is, oh, I need few users, I need to configure this, typically how to do stuff. And because the office is changing so fast, more and more features, functionality is coming, it's quite impossible for a customer to manage everything. You want to offer this as a service. You want to offer this as a managed service, that we will manage your all requests, whatever you say, and we will get it done within SLA. Plus the support, end user support is more critical. Not every time a customer's user runs into a technical product problem, it basically runs into, oh, I'm not able to open this, I'm not able to do this and that. And that's where you offer that as a service per month, per year, whatever you want to do, managed services. And the bonus service which I was talking about, it was change management. A lot of partners, resellers, Microsoft partners don't understand what is change management. Change management is actually the one which actually brings the change in the organization of the customer. What does it mean? When you're introducing a brand new apps, of course, nobody needs to learn how to use Outlook. I agree. But then the new Outlook has a lot of features like add-ins, how to use add-ins. But I'm not talking about how to promote, how to use the Office Outlook. I'm talking about how to educate the customer by educating them about the various other apps which is part of Office 365. That is Teams, Skype for Business, Skype for Meetings, SharePoint portal, for example, how to create a portal, how to maintain a portal, how to use planners, how to use the video stream, and XYZ. So pick up these apps which is very relevant to the organization's departments, and then offer it as a change management service. Change management is nothing. It's just basically creating some awareness. You can put up posters, you can put up banners, stickers, and run some sessions around it. And also change management is really about resistance management. You train the top managers that you're going to push OneDrive as the choice, and you will resist people when they come back saying no, they cannot use it. If they keep attaching emails again and again, you want to push back. So this is something which managers can do in the organization, and you train the managers on how to handle this change. And it's all about change management. It's a good services revenue which you can make, but then most important, it will drive a very deep adoption. This customer is not going to go when they actually find it. So my last final step or way to sell this effectively, Office 365, is the bonus way. Is don't ask for a purchase order, sign a contract. You all know it's a subscription business. Don't ask for a purchase order. Why you should not ask for a purchase order? If you ask for a purchase order, the purchasing department is again going to look for 1 or 3 quotes in the end of the subscription term, and you will end up fighting for the subscription problems or renewal basically. If you sign a contract which should have an auto renew clause, it doesn't go through purchase eyes again and again, because it's a contract. It keeps going on, and if you have an auto renewal clause there, it makes life much easier. So switch from purchase orders to contracts. It could be a 2-page, 3-page contract. Put down your terms condition. Some of the terms could be it will be auto renewed. If you want to cancel, give us 30 days notice. It's going to be billed 1 month in advance if it is monthly option, and there is no renewal option there. So it's basically on and on and on. So, and you can give the rates of the individual user licenses as and when they want to add licenses and so on. So contract is going to save you from the battle of renewals at the end of the year, at the end of the renewal term. The other way you can deal with this is to get away this renewal business, is sign a multi-year contract. You collect the payments till yearly, but sign 3 years contract. Give them a better price so that they get motivated to sign a 3-year multi-year contract, and put some clause there. 6 months, if they break the contract, they have to pay 6 months of money in advance or something like that, which will help them to lock out. But then signing a multi-year contract with the payment terms like that, of course mention that if there is a price change from Microsoft, you're going to transfer that thing. If there is a reduction, you're going to pass it. If it is a hike, you will definitely pass that also. But signing a multi-year is really, really helpful. It can really save your business in terms of the fight of renewal business. So those were my 5 tips on effectively selling Office 365. So if you like this video, then please like the video, give a thumbs up, share the video, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and leave your comments. And if you have any challenges other than these, please leave it on the comments below, and I will ensure that I'll try to solve it from my experience of selling it. Thank you.